Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. I sip my water, get this going. This one's going to be short. I'm not going to run it real long. I've got some chicken cooking in the oven, so I'm not going to do this as a super long live. I'm going to hopefully just get some good questions, get it done, knock it out, and we're not going to put up with any nonsense. I think that's something I'm going to have to be strict on moving forward with these. We just can't have nonsense in these. No trolling, no bullshit. So let's get over to some questions. I'll try to be lively with these, be entertaining, answer your questions, and then get over to my food that's cooking in the oven. So, what's the heaviest a 5'7" should bulk to 200 pounds? I have no idea. I have no idea how it's the heaviest you should bulk to. I guess it depends on how much muscle you can accrue, right? That's the real question. How big are you? How big can you get? I mean, we can make the case for lean bulking if you really care about that. You can protein overfeed, but people won't do it. Meaning, I've discussed that quite a bit of how to actually make pretty much pure lean gains, even for drug-free people, but nobody's going to do it. They won't do it. It costs way more than my coaching to even afford the amount of protein for most people to do that, just for their protein. Then they get tired of like, Coach, I get tired of eating 3 pounds of lean meat every day. How do you do? Well, no, you need to eat crazy amounts of protein so that all of your calorie surplus comes from protein so that you're at the point where you can recomposition. The research on it is pretty good. If your training is dialed in and you dramatically protein overfeed, you can recomposition even as a non-novice lifter. Unless you're really ripped, no, like 400 grams. Like a lot of those studies are starting at 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight and then going up from there. So up to something like 2.2 grams per kilo. I'm sorry, 4.4 is what some of the studies I've seen. So in my case, that would be over 400 grams of protein. That's what I'm shooting for close to while I'm doing a slow cut at the moment. Since you're getting comfortable with chin-ups, you have thoughts on attempting overhead pressing? I don't have thoughts because I've sampled it and I still can't lock out. So I can't do it. There's no point in doing it if I can't lock out. I've checked it with an empty barbell. I cannot lock it out overhead. I can't do it. So at that point, there's no attempting anything. Do you find the motivation to train even when you're tired AF and lazy to do so? Yes. I train on a schedule. When I'm tired and not feeling well, you see those abbreviated workouts where I just did some, like the other day, it's like, well, I came in, I just benched, I did chins, some arm work, and some pullovers and left. Right? Why did I get injured doing 3x5 deads? I have no idea. Trying to get my girlfriend into lifting. She can only do 2 days per week. What are the main muscles? I'll get her on some basic barbell stuff, right? Get her on some basic barbell stuff. Squats, hip hinges of some type, right? A little bit of pressing and rowing. Should be good. Basic novice programs, man. Do you ever miss the motivation of girls in the gym? No, you can see girls everywhere. Do you find you get better pumps when you're eating a lot of watermelon? Not really. As long as I'm getting some carbs, I'm good. How long to bench from 315 to 250, assuming right now 210 pounds average genetics with average progression? No idea. I don't think we can define it that simply. Like that stuff that if I coached you for a while, I could start making predictions. I don't know. Because what's average progression? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you might be looking at something like that. Yeah, I mean, if we start expanding it out like that, that's fair. But I thought it's like you're wanting me to pin it down to a 3 or 4 month window. Can I do it in 6 months? Can I do it in 18 months? Well, I don't know. Possibly, but unlikely. Now, 2+ years, if you work at it, from where you are, I don't think that's unreasonable. Now that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people really want stuff like, coach, do you think I can do this in 5 or 6 months? I get that from clients. It's like, yeah, I don't know about that. I can't even tell you that, without being able to assess their training response over time, right? But yeah, you gave a really broad range. That's fair. I think 2 to 3 is perfectly reasonable. Yeah, all the train that say 3 months. I don't have thoughts on the thing. Why don't people just learn how to bench press? My thoughts are that anyone who watches my channel, who has watched any of my most basic tutorials on setting up a bench press, has zero chance of crushing their throat, even if they put 600 pounds on the bar and unrack it and drop it. If you set up your bench correctly and follow the basic correct rules for unracking the weight, there is no chance of the barbell getting on your throat. It is simply you do not know how to bench press if that ever happens. Even if I take your 1 rep max right now, the best you've ever done, I put another 50 pounds on the bar cannot touch your throat if you know how to unrack it correctly. It will not happen if you know how to unrack and rack correctly. So, hi Jason, I recently upped my sleep from 8 hours to 9.5 hours. I'm running a full body 3 times a day. How much could recovery be increased from the sleep increase? Man, I don't know why you're doing, dude, that's a lot. Haven't seen you discuss front. I've been doing some front squats, actually. I know it sounds silly, but I just enjoy front squats a lot more than back squats. Is it okay to prioritize? If you really want to prioritize that, I would still do some back squats. If you happen to really enjoy front squats more and you think particularly it's going to carry over to what you're doing more, knock yourself out. Right? Jamie reminds me of G.G. Allen. I don't know who G.G. Allen is. The benches in commercial gyms don't have safeties. Yeah, I've shown you guys how to bail out of a lift without a spotter and without safeties on camera before. You guys have watched me just grab like 275 and drop it on the floor. You can turn loose, let it hit your chest, and still drop it on the floor. Right? So 3 times a week. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that 3 full body sessions per week is necessarily going to be your optimal, but the extra hour and a half of sleep is worth quite a bit for recovery. Thoughts on resetting on every rep on deadlift, resetting grip on every rep, and standing back up? Is it? You can do that. I think that's a little bit much, but I have done that for lifters who are really struggling to set up. Right? They're really struggling with their setup. Sometimes doing that can be beneficial. I don't think you need to do that just for gains. As long as you reset on the floor for a second, you're good. Have you ever considered running your 4-day upper lower to 2 days on, 1 day off? No, I don't see the need. Darko, what do endocrinologists say? What do endocrinologists, when they come to the gear forums and make fun of these people and they show the blood work of their clients, what do they say? With cypionate, what do they say? My clients are all stable at 14 days. And then they show you with blood work. That is a myth. That is a steroid forum myth that you have to pen twice a week, that once a week's not stable. Endocrinologists are showing consistently with clients and patients that they're stable at 14 days. You considered its placebo effect created by forums to where people feel themselves spike and crash once a week. Do you ever train your grip directly, such as hand grippers / plate pinches? Sometimes. Do you know any funny fitness pickup lines? Not really. As long as your pickup lines are funny, they'll work. As long as you do them with confidence, that's all that matters. Just be funny. That's all you guys need to do to get girls. That's it. You can forget all these con artists, pickup artists nonsense that people have out there. If you can make women laugh, you're good. That's it. That's all you have to just make them laugh. Just be a clown. If you're funny, dude, are you funny looking? That works. All right. What's your height and weight? My guess is I am 5'9" at 221 right now. Now, this is where I joke and say in an internet stats, I'm 6 foot. Because I've been to expos and hung around with the guys who have 6 foot listed as their internet stats, and they're the same height as me. So I got the 105s for 10 on dumbbell press. Is that a good place to go on a cut to have decent muscle mass? Probably. Quit trying to pick up girls at the gym. That's a good icebreaker. Once you quit trying to pick up girls at the gym, it doesn't work very well unless you just have crazy mad game. Let them pick you up. So I guess you prefer Cyprianate. Well, I live in America. Darko, what country are you in? Because if you're talking real TRT, you don't really get to pick the country you're in determines which ester your medical community prescribes. Thoughts on marijuana? You need to be more specific. When was the last time you were in a public gym? Been a while. It has been a while. Have I been to events at public gyms? Yes. Have I gone into a regular public gym outside of an actual event? No, not in 7 years, maybe. Ballpark estimate, 6 years, 7. I'm trying to think. At least 6 years. No, I don't use smelling salts. Nope, I don't care for all that. Look, dude, either you can lift the weight or you can't. Hey, Jason, I went to join the military but got a 340 testosterone. Doctor said it's my personal decision, but I want to prioritize more. What would be wiser? That's between you and your doctor, man. Hey, Jason, I recently injured my rotator cuff tendonitis doing my dips too deep. Now I have to take some time off from weight training. I'm scared of losing progress. Find other lifts that you can do. What are your thoughts on marijuana? Marijuana is bad, okay? For affecting performance, testosterone levels, etc. I don't think it's a PED. I think for some people it can help with recovery. Smoking itself is not particularly good for you. There may be some recovery benefits to the cannabinoids. It is still being studied. I wouldn't put a lot of weight in any discussion of things that raise or lower testosterone levels enough to affect performance. How do you like that answer? Do you do the same upper body twice a week? No, it's generally pretty much the same. I make minor changes based on how I feel, but it's usually the same. That's marijuana, right? From South Park, Mr. Mackey. Okay. You've had a home gym for 7 years. Dude, it's been a long time. You seem like a cool dude, bro. Would buy a beer out of 10. I'm sober, Raven. I am 100% alcohol free for over 4 years. Right? Walking that path. You guys want me to do a Kanye Bush? What's that stuff? Weight gain 4,000. It's helping me bulk up. Bulk up to what? Fat ass, super fat ass. Hey, I don't have to take that kind of crap from you scrawny weaklings. Thoughts on treating the Pendlay row as a primary heavy exercise like 3 or 5 or 5x5? I think that's fine. What was the gym called you used to record in? I recorded in a lot of gyms. That was great. Was in the UK. Looked like. God, I don't even remember which ones I was at in the UK. I recorded in a few different ones. If you were in charge, would you ban sumo? Not because it's cheating, because it would make it a standardized lift. That's a great question, Adam. If I were suddenly made the emperor, the god emperor of all powerlifting, I would say conventional only, right? I would remove equipped lifting completely. No sumo, no suits, no wraps. And then I would probably be overthrown. This is where we could be really funny. We really want to make powerlifting be taken seriously as a sport. You guys want my answer? What changes would they need to implement for everyone to really take powerlifting seriously? As someone who loves powerlifting, mind you. Remove all the equipment, all of it. Conventional only. Heels flat benching, flat back benching, ass to grass squats. Why can some bodybuilders do a lot of weight on back machines with almost no real pull-ups? If they're strong on the back machine, they probably can do pull-ups. And I don't know where you get that. I know bodybuilders who can crank out 15 to 20 straight up pull-ups. Porn addiction. I don't know that porn as a whole is terrible for you, Raven, but porn addiction absolutely is. Like, I'm not going to get into the whole other side of it, but I will agree. Porn addiction, there's a pretty good amount of actual evidence showing problems, right? I don't think that's a controversial statement for me to make. It's pretty well supported in the literature. Thoughts on upper body versus lower body strength for MMA fighters? Which one is more? I think all of it. Your recent video about equipment is harsh. Wouldn't this mean you have invalidated all of your comp bests? Exquisite. You do know I didn't wear a belt for the heaviest meet I did in the UK, right? I did that beltless. The squat and the deadlift, no belt. I did those with no belt, bro. How much weight difference do you think is notable for being an advantage in a fight, assuming skill level? I think 10 pounds of muscle is noticeable enough to be stronger to where it's going to matter if skill is equal, right? I mean, no reasonable person is saying skill isn't king in a fight, right? No reasonable person says that this guy with 15 years of serious martial arts training is going to be beat by this guy who just did 3 lessons at the YMCA, just because he's stronger. Like, no, nobody's saying that. No sane person is saying that, right? Skill level being equal. I'm going to say 10 pounds of muscle will make a difference. Are the people who say knee sleeves only offer warmth or reduce injury risk lying? How do they reduce injury risk, Adam? How do they reduce it? Name me some mechanism by which they can reduce injuries. The magical warmth effect. So you're telling me that if you just go train in a hotter room, no one gets hurt? Okay, well then quit training in the air conditioning. You don't need sleeves if that's the concern. They don't do shit to reduce injuries. They do nothing. We wear sleeves because they let us lift more weight. You guys ever tried on a pair of SBD sleeves on your knees? I own a pair. Put a pair of those on and try to sit down. Ooh. I have to agree with your new training philosophy thing for the last few months to take out. Darko, I used to do a lot more of that, didn't I? Yeah. What about fluff weight? If both combatants are the same muscle, the same weight, it's basically just fat, but let's pretend they have the same fitness level, 20 pounds. I don't know that fat's going to make you slower, might reduce conditioning, but if they know how to really put their weight behind it, it still might actually be an advantage. Okay. Do you think you could take on a flyweight 150 pounds in a street fight? Dude, I don't want to get in a street fight. I'm too old to get in fights. I don't need to be fighting people. Does neck fat versus muscle fat impact sleep apnea to a different degree? I think it does to a different degree, but at a certain point, neck muscle can exacerbate sleep apnea. Do you plan on attempting overhand grip pull-ups soon? Eventually. How much do sleeves give you? I don't know, but I'm going to say it's really going to depend on your squish and everything. I feel like they're worth a solid 20 pounds. True Man, thanks heaps for responding to all my questions, comments. God bless. God bless you too. All right, bros. I got some chicken in the oven. I got to go get it out. I'm going to wind this down. I love all of you guys and gals. And I will talk to you next time.